Two questions from the... Due domande per Jeremy Renner e Edward Norton dai fan della pagina Facebook di Conferenza. Come ti sei preparato per Mr. Renner? Come ti sei preparato a questo ruolo conoscendo i precedenti film interpretati da Matt Damon? E invece per Edward Norton, nel film La 25esima ora tu interpreti un ruolo di uno spacciatore che non ha grandi problemi morali, e in questo film invece interpreti il ruolo di un mangiapeccati, un sin eater. Pensi che questi due ruoli possano avere qualcosa in comune insieme? Grazie.
Preparation. I stretched. And I stretched more so I didn't get injured as they were trying to beat me up every day. It was a lot of physical preparation. He was the thing that stands out most to me from where I'm sitting. There's a lot going on to prepare for something like this, but again, the most important thing I had to do that we could not fake was the physical abilities of Aaron Cross. It'll undermine, if I could not do it, it would undermine the authenticity of the entire franchise. It undermines the intelligence of this particular film as well as the entire franchise. So again, it comes down to stretching and fighting and more fighting. So yeah, that was probably the most time spent for me was on that sort of thing. Otherwise, preparation was just chatting with Tony day in and day out about sort of how to keep it really interesting and keep it really honest. And that was a really, really fun part.
I don't, I think the answer to the question about the 25th hour and this, I think we already talked about that. I think what you're just, that's an example of the types of things we've been discussing in terms of characters that are sort of paradoxical, I think, or who are doing bad things, but the trick is to understand how they got to that place in their lives and how it's impacting other people in their lives, things like that. I think those are just the types of characters that are interesting to me. But that said, I've also played a children's entertainer wearing a pink rhino suit, so it's like sometimes there's a lot of darkness and depth, and sometimes you play a guy who turns into a green monster, and it's not always so heavy. Sometimes it's fun, and sometimes it's the wonderful thing about it. If you do this long enough, you get to do a lot of different types of stuff. I mean, I just did this film with Wes Anderson, and the whole tonality of that, the whole figuring his characters out couldn't be more different than this film. I think there may not be two films that are further apart on the spectrum than the Bourne film and Moonrise Kingdom. So that's a lot of fun to get to do things as divergent as that in the same year. Oh, Amacord, that was the other movie I watched recently. Amacord. I love Amacord.
Salve, sono Elisabetta Colangelo, sono venuta per Donna Moderna e ho una domanda per Mr. Norton ancora. E visto che That's because the question is for you. Una domanda per Mr. Norton. E appunto, visto che aveva dato questa descrizione appunto delle caratteristiche morali, diciamo così, anche ambigue del suo personaggio di cattivo, mi chiedevo chi sono per lui gli attori del passato che hanno interpretato dei grandi ruoli di cattivo, che sono un punto che lui considera un punto di riferimento.
You're calling me on film history. Tony can help me on that. You know, I don't. So many. I mean.
Those questions are always really tough.
Yeah, but I think that to me, again, villains are. I think of villains like Jeremy said as people with, you know, like I like. I mean, recently I really loved. I think a lot about. Daniel Day-Lewis in There Will Be Blood, you know, I think that's an amazing character. I think, I don't know, I mean, I like Gene Hackman in Superman, you know, I think that's a pretty great villain. You know, there's always, you know, John Huston in Chinatown. I like villains that are really persuasive. You know, that maybe you kind of rather hang out with them than the good guy.
Bene, avevamo una domanda lì, vero? Ancora? Prego.
Massimiliano Ferone, non solo cinema. Ho due brevissime domande per il signor Renner.